what we have been working on is multiple projects. Now, the majority of our business, or a large percentage of our business in Emrill, is soft services. So it was an easy win to address some of our largest amount of manpower working on our projects. So how could we actually improve our services? Now, to do that, we introduced an app, okay, which our FE app, which was a efficiency enhancing product. Now, that app was introduced into a horizontal community, and as we all know, the buildings are getting higher. There's been huge multiples of these buildings, and we had to address the horizontal community, our successes there, and introduce it to our vertical. It's not new technology of a lot of the information out there. So there's a lot of IoT products, a lot of products that we can enhance and bring in board. But the critical thing is actually addressing or bringing this on board and introducing it into our business, and also for what the customer wants. So it's critical for us to actually ensure we have an app that's ready for our staff, our training, ready for the operations, and also ready for the customer. So we need to understand what the customer wants. We all have SLAs, we all have KPIs, but we need to make sure that what we produce is not just addressing one single area, but it's got a roadmap for not only soft services, but it'll address security, it'll also address our technical innovations. So this app here, we've had it on the go for a couple of years. The horizontal community, we've seen 20% savings on staff, and this is a benefit to the customer. So we've reduced the amount of staff, and we've actually got more out of our people. How we've done that is we've actually identified waste, and we've actually identified areas where we can be more productive in what we do. So the app itself is given to all levels of staff, whether it's a cluster manager, to the FM, down to the supervisors, team leaders, and also the staff itself. It's an investment in technology, but the investment is there that will actually save us huge amounts of money going forward, and also the customers. What I want to do is introduce the app itself, because it's actually live. It's been running for a while, okay, and we've made some excellent changes and adaptations, and also starting to integrate it into technical services. So the dashboard is really for a cluster dashboard. So if I've got a senior FM looking at his whole cluster, he's got various buildings, and he's got real-time data on who's on shift, what jobs are actually outstanding, any red flags raised on any of the buildings. And we can drill down that 3D view, okay, is we can drill down to each building and each floor, and also the technicians. At the moment, we've got nearly 200 personnel on the app, and we can identify where they are, which floor they're on, and also what tasks they're meant to be doing. It also identifies, based on when we actually introduce a schedule, we input the schedule based on the actual contract itself. So whether we want hourly checks, whether we want shift checks, or even just day-to-day reports. This also, the app's been developed so the customer can also log on and actually have access and visibility of what our technicians are doing, or our staff. So this is just a high-level view for the SFM itself, for the cluster, but maybe you've got the FM that's looking after 3 or 4 buildings. So whether it's down in Dubai Marina, downtown, or whether it's in the Sharma, Arabian Ranches, Emirates Living, doesn't matter. We've got visibility across all areas. You can actually drill down to each of the areas. You can actually segregate or partition any of the project itself relative to the actual contract itself. Here you can actually see, we can actually monitor the performance and also how efficient each of the teams are. Again, we drill down to the building. So for this is one of the examples. I was down there the other day looking at this to see how we can improve it to the next step. What we have is we're identifying a building where all the KPIs are being met, and we've got buildings that have not. So again, we can drill down that, whether it's a customer, whether it's the FM, or it actually can be the head office that can actually access the information. Here we can, like I said, it's not new technology. It's through beacons on each floor, spaced out accordingly, so we can track time in, time out, and also address which technician is there. Now, we all have, as part of our business, escalations. We all have problems that happen. When they occur, we actually ring around, find out who's available. On this tool, we can actually identify who's available, who's working on what site, and who's the closest person to attend. This removes waste. It removes waste of sending a team, stopping what they're doing, going to that job, rectifying an issue, and heading back to the job they started. On here, again, we're looking at the task completions. What we're trying to do is see if anything's missed a time. If it's actually an hour late, then we can address it, we can talk to the team, or we can send an additional team to rectify the problem. So sometimes escalations are out of our hands, but it's certainly something we can actually show better performance and less waste. The system is inbuilt internally in Emrill, so we store all our data. It's secure, it's maintained within our own servers, and we actually have full control of it. We actually have the proof of pictures on all the tasks that they do, in case there's an escalation that needs to be addressed accordingly. But all the information is date time stamped, gives us an opportunity to revert back and address any issues. The workforce visibility, as I said, is it's critical to know where our staff is at any one time. This gives us full access to whether people are on shift, anybody's disappeared, it's all geo-fenced. If somebody's gone for a longer lunch than they should have gone for, we can address that and identify that fairly quickly. Since we started the implementation of the FE on the verticals, we started off where we were meeting now 91% of our KPIs set with the contracts. Now, that's not a great performance. Whether it was true or not, we don't know, all right? But at the end of the day is we actually didn't know what the level was before we actually implemented it. So once we implement that, we have a 91% efficiency. Now I can truly say we're above 96% today of all our KPIs, and that is a true reflection, not a made-up, the supervisor said we did it. Okay, so this is true, and it's real-time information. And it allows us to give better confidence to the customer. The customer doesn't have to do extensive walkarounds, double-check the work we're doing. It's all relative, and it's all real-time data. From the start, we were having, on average, across all our buildings, roughly 3 escalations, and now we've actually reduced that to 0. These are the guys, typically they'll use the app, they'll go down, take the photographs, capture the photographs, and upload it on the system. It's there. All the work areas are covered by the beacons, and that addresses, and it's actually up-to-date, real-time information. On here, we've got a couple of the staff, and they give comments about how they have been found the app. It's not a difficult app. What we've tried to do is make the app user-friendly for all levels and all educations. So you don't have to be fully computer whiz kid to actually understand, although the younger guys are, I'm certainly not. So the benefits we've seen is over 3,000 man-hours saved. We've seen the paperless exercise that we've been driving across Emrill is really having a big benefit on this app. Housekeeping efficiency is increased. We've got better engagement of staff. With quicker response times, less escalations, and we're also reducing customer complaints. The next steps from this is introducing the technical services, then looking at condition-based monitoring, and we're tying all this in together to be incorporated within our main CAFM system.